Welcome to Worldwide Global News, and today's video is the unbelievable story of Japanese man who survived both atomic bombs. Tsutomu Yamaguchi may very well have been both the luckiest and the most unlucky man ever. On August 6, 1945, he was riding a small trolley across the city of Hiroshima. Yamaguchi recalled hearing the roar of an aircraft engine in the skies above during the ride, but thought nothing of it since warplanes were constantly flying overhead during that time. What Yamaguchi didn't know was that this was no Japanese plane. It was the US bomber, the Enola Gay, preparing to drop a 13 kiloton uranium atom bomb on the city. Yamaguchi stepped off the tram at approximately 8:15 a.m. He looked up and saw the Enola Gay passing overhead. Then he saw two small parachutes. These chutes were attached to the warhead, thought he couldn't see the bomb itself. Seconds later, the scene turned to chaos. Here's Yamaguchi describing the moment of impact. Yamaguchi was less than 3 kilometers away from the bomb when it detonated. The shock waves from the explosion ruptured his eardrums, and the bright flash of the light left him temporarily blinded. The heat from the warhead also seriously burned on the left side of his upper body. The last thing he remembers before passing out is seeing the mushroom cloud racing skyward. He eventually regained consciousness and was able to crawl his way to an air-raid shelter where he spent the night. Upon arriving at the shelter, he found his 3 work colleagues who had also survived the blast. All 4 of them were engineers from Nagasaki who just happened to be sent to Hiroshima for work that day. The next morning, Yamaguchi and his 3 colleagues left the shelter, wanting desperately to return home to try to make sense of what had just happened. On their way to the train station, they passed horrific scenes of destruction, including countless charred and died bodies. They finally reached the station, boarded the train, and made the 180-mile journey home to Nagasaki. Yamaguchi, who was in a pretty bad state upon returning home, had his scalp tended to and bandaged as soon as his arrival back at Nagasaki. Despite the seriousness of his injuries, Yamaguchi decided he was well enough to return to work on the August 9, just 3 days after the Hiroshima explosion. Upon returning, Yamaguchi recounted the tale to his boss and co-workers, who were horrified yet amazed at the same time. When he describes how the bomb had melted metal and totally evaporated parts of the city, Yamaguchi's boss, Sam, simply couldn't believe it. He asked Yamaguchi. According to Yamaguchi, it was at the exact moment that Sam asked this question, 11:02 a.m., that another blinding flash of light penetrated the room they were in. The second bomb had just been detonated in Nagasaki. Though many people are unaware of this, the second bomb's original target was the city of Kokura, but since Kokura was obscured by clouds that morning, the US military switched the target city to Nagasaki. Miraculously, not only did Yamaguchi survive the second blast, but so did his wife and baby son. The family spent the next week or so in an air-raid shelter not far from the ruins of the home. After the war, Yamaguchi spent the rest of his life speaking out against nuclear proliferation. Speaking about his experience a few years before passing away, Yamaguchi described his life as a path planted by God. Yamaguchi finally succumbed to the radiation poisoning in his body in 2010. when he passed away from leukemia just 2 years after his wife died from liver and kidney cancer. He was 93 years old. Yamaguchi was one of about 160 people who survived both blasts, but is the only one who was officially recognized by Japanese government as a double bomb survivor in 2009, a year before his death. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and share our videos, and don't forget to subscribe for more latest news.